So, and again, this does correspond, pretty sure, to yeah. There's a fish with a twist. It's on starting on page 53, 54, or something like that, right? I'm going to do mine just a smidge different, which is why I'm recording. Y'all are taking notes. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to create a twist for the fish's head, right? But the thing is, the head is made of multiple parts. I have, similar to the alien guy, the alien hat, bowler hat guy, I have multiple eyeball pieces on both sides, right? So I have the fish, but I don't want to twist the fish. That'll leave the eyeballs behind, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group these just like I did before, right? I'm going to group these. I'm going to create a geo group. Nothing new here. And I'm going to apply, similar to the toothbrush, I'm going to apply my twist to the geo group, right? So the twist can be found multiple places. There is, on the modeling menu set, a deform menu, and these were under nonlinear twists, right? But it's also used in rigging. So there's the same exact deform menu on the rigging menu set. I think it might be animation also. Yep. The same exact menu on the animation menu set, right? So you can actually find this almost anywhere. 3 out of 5 menus agree that deform is important, right? So I'm going to go to deform, nonlinear, twist. I don't really need my options on that. I'm just going to create the twist. And as I said before, the twist is based on where this manipulator, where this handle is located. So right now, if I apply my start angle and my end angle, it's twisting around like that. I don't want that, right? I want to rotate my twist handle into position 90 degrees. And I want it centered on the fish. Right now it's a little bit high on his head. Huh? What's not? Did you create the geo group? And then deform nonlinear twist? So in order to line this up perfectly in the center of my character, I'm going to go to my side view, my side camera. I'm going to hit 4 to go to wireframe. And I'm just going to lower this down to center it on the fish. You know, how perfectly centered it is up to you and your anal tendencies like I have. I prefer it centered on the mouth. You know, like that. There it is. Pop my space bar back over. So now when I do my twist, I have the start angle at the tail. I have the end angle at the head, right? So we're going to be controlling the twist of the head, not the tail. So technically we're going to be using the end angle similar to what we did for the toothbrush, right? But this isn't twisting exactly like I want it. It's twisting the whole body. I want to twist more just the head. So just like we did with the toothbrush, I'm going to move my low bound up until it's where I want it to be for twisting the head. It's still a little bit far, so I can't take my low bound any higher. So I'm going to move it and I'll bring my high bound down. Yes? Huh? I have my low bound and my high bound, right? The low bound is the position of this part. The high bound is the position of this, right? How did I what? There's low bound right here. I middle clicked and dragged it until it got as far as it could go, which was 0. Right? If you middle click and drag, if you highlight the word of any attribute and middle click and drag it here in the camera view, that will change the value, right? So that's what I did, and then it wouldn't go any farther, so I moved the entire object just using the move tool. So my end angle, that's a bit wiggity. I'm gonna take that and adjust that. All right, I think this is okay. It's still stretching his eyeballs a little bit, but I think this is fine, right?
Managed to make it more than just 15.
More than just what?
It's like when you're like pulling that little thing, you can go like as high as you want. When, like I tried to do it, it's just like max was like 15.
On your end angle?
Yeah, end angle and start angle. 15 like max.
You're left clicking and dragging on the number. I highlighted the end angle word and then middle click and drag out here. And then highlight the word, middle click and drag out here. Okay. Say what? No, I haven't done that yet. I'm simply making. Oh, you're rotating the entire object. You don't want to do that. So go to twist. Highlight end angle. Out here, middle click and drag right click. Okay. But you did it. You're leaving your eyeballs behind. So you applied it to the fish, not the group. Right? You applied your twist to the body, not the geo group. So you need to delete that twist handle and make another one on the geo group itself.
How far can I go with the twist?
Well, you can type in values. So, here's the thing. I appreciate all the requests for help. I have to get through this. I have to make this video. You can look at the video. If you need help, reach out. But I can't stop every 3 seconds to help people. Okay? This is why this class you have to take notes. You can't just do it while I do it. Okay? I have to get through these demonstrations. All right? Okay. That's what the video is for. All right, so take notes. So I have my end angle. It works. I'm happy enough with how it's going to rotate. So what I want to do is I want to, similar to the toothbrush, I want to take this controller so that the rotation of this controller controls the end angle twist, right? Now, right now, my manipulator is in the middle of my controller up top. If I rotate my controller, it's going to go like this. It's going to go through the head, right? I don't want it to go through the head. I want it to go around the head. And my rotation position is based solely on the position of my of where my manipulator is. So if I hold down D, get my pivot movement, I can reposition my pivot down to the center of the head. And now when I rotate my controller, it goes around the head. I might even go a little bit farther. Hold down B, lower it even more. See what I mean? So it's going around the head. This looks like it's going to rotate the head, okay? So I just wanted to reposition my pivot down lower, okay? Now, I need the rotate Z of this controller to control the end angle on my twist one node. So how do I do that? Okay. This is going to use the connection editor. Can't remember if we used connection editor. I think we did in the toothbrush. And we're going to do a lot of connection editor throughout our time here, right? So to do the connection editor, this is under Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. This is where you write down Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. Or you can use a little greater than sign, Windows, greater than, General Editors, greater than, Connection Editor. Okay. If I were to take my notes myself, Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor, right? And if I'm typing it, I might type box if I were doing the options box or something like that. Or if I'm drawing it, I might just draw a little square there at the end. I'm not doing that. But anyway, so connection editor, Windows, General Editors, Connection Editor. Now, like I said, we're taking the rotate Z of our twist control. So I'm going to select the twist control and I'm going to reload the left side. This is what's the controlling side by default. You can switch it back and forth so that the right side's the controlling side, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to leave it on the left, right? So my control, my twist control, if I go down to find the word rotate, I can pop that open and there's my rotate X, Y, and Z, right? So we're going to use rotate Z and we're going to control our end angle. Now, if you remember, the twist one node, I can't just select it, right? I can't get to it directly, right? I could possibly, I think. Yeah, I could do this, right? If I select my twist handle, hit Control A to go to the attribute editor, or you can hit this little tab here, right? And select the tab called Twist 1. If I click Focus, that will actually select the Twist 1 node, right? What I showed you on the toothbrush was I went to the node editor. Again, Windows, node editor, right? So I did this in the node editor where I selected the controller. I went Windows, node editor, and I hit the input and output connections button, which looks like a box with two arrows. And I found that twist one node and I just selected it, right? So it's the same thing, right? If I go in here, attribute editor, to the twist one node, click focus, that will actually select it. Once I have it selected, I click reload right. It's not selecting it. Well, I'm going to have to do it through the node editor. So there it is. I've selected it. Reload right. There it is. This is what I was looking for. So We're going to need to use a node editor anyway, so let's just do that. All right. So again, like I did for the toothbrush, select the handle, open your node editor, click the input and output connections button, and there's the twist one node right there. Okay. Once you have it selected, reload right, and there's your end angle. So rotate Z is going to control end angle. All I have to do is highlight rotate Z, highlight end angle. It turns the attribute yellow, which means it's controlled by the connection editor. And you can see that the attribute when rotate Z is selected is both the attributes are in italics, right? And it's highlighted, but there you go. All right, so I'm just going to move this down here. So now that's a direct connection. Whatever value is in my rotate Z, right now it's 0. Whatever value is here gets immediately piped into here. So if my rotate Z is 10, my end angle will be 10. But there's a little trick. There's a little caveat going on here. If I test this, I select my my twist control and I rotate Z, look what's going on. It's happening the opposite direction. This is a problem. My positive 50 on rotate Z, which rotates to the right, makes my end angle also positive 50, but it's rotating the other way. A positive rotation rotates this way as opposed to this way, right? So I need this to go the opposite of what it usually does. Let me ask you this question. In math, if you want a positive number to become a negative number or a negative number to become a positive number, what do you do to that number? Multiply by what?
Opposite. Yeah, opposite. No, the same. Wait, no, it's negative.
What I had said, Richard, was if you want a positive number to become a negative number, if I want 50 to become negative 50, what do I do to that number?
You times a positive and a negative. It will give you a negative.
Yeah, you multiply that negative number by a negative number to make it positive, right? You multiply a positive number by a negative number to make it negative. What
And if
number?
you multiply negative times
If
a
I want,
negative, it will
right.
give you a positive, right? Yeah.
If I want positive 50 to become negative 50, what do I multiply it by? Negative what? Negative 1, right? So I need to multiply the value by negative 1 in order for this to rotate the correct direction. It's all math. Okay? So how do I do that? Well, let me select my twist control. I'm going to hit my input and output connections. And here I have my twist control and my twist one connection, right? You can see it here. Here's the twist control. There's the connection. And here's twist one. If I hit, I'm going to go big on this. If I click this little menu button, this will pop open and show all of the attributes that are connected. This is the essence of node-based programming, okay? If I pop this open and I pop this open, you'll see that I have a connection between rotate and my end angle. If I pop open rotate, you'll see that that connection is actually rotate Z, right? So I'm literally just clicking this little button right here to open up the attributes. I don't even have to open all of them. I can just pop one. Well, no, I do need, there's rotate Z. Yeah. So There's my rotate connection from rotate Z to end angle, right? Right now, rotate Z is positive 50. End angle is positive 50. I need something between here and here along this connection. Think of it like a pipe, right? A pipe, a straw between a cup and another cup, right? It's literally just feeding, pouring whatever is in rotate Z into end angle, right? I have an ounce of water over here. I have a straw and another cup, and it's pouring an ounce of water here into end angle. Whatever happens here, right? It's a direct connection. That's why it's called the connection editor, right? Okay, so unfortunately, this 50 needs to become negative 50 along the way. So there's a node called the multiply divide node. If I hit tab in my node editor, it brings up a search bar, and I start typing in multiply. And look at that. I type in multiply, it's the first thing that comes up, multiply divide. I click on that, and it creates this node called the multiply divide node. I'm going to pop open its menu. Now, this multiply divide node, I'm going to look at this node in the attribute editor. I'm just going to move this over. I'm going to go to the attribute editor. What this looks like, I'm going to rotate the camera around so that y'all can see the screen. Perhaps. You have your well, I'll do this from here because they're not going to be able to see what I'm pointing at. Okay. Attribute editor. Sorry, I'm on my cables. Okay. You have input 1, X, Y, and Z. Input 2, X, Y, and Z, right? Okay. Input 1 is this right here. If I open this up, there's input 1X, input 1Y, input 1Z, right? Each column, first value is multiplied by the second value, okay? So right now, my first value is 0, my second value is 1 in each of these columns, right? 0 times 1, 0 times 1, 0 times 1, right? If I take my rotate Z, I like to keep Z along Z. So I'm going to take my rotate Z, I'm going to left click and drag, right? As I left click and drag, it creates this connection string. And I drag that over to input 1Z until it snaps. And that has piped, that has made the connection between rotate Z and my first input here. You can see it there. It has the value of 50. Now, I need the output of this to go to my end angle. So I input on 1Z. If I open up my output, you'll see I have output X, Y, and Z, right? I feed a value in, it gets multiplied, and then it feeds the value out, right? So I went into input 1Z, so I have to output Z also. I click and drag, and I connect it to end angle. The previous connection is immediately severed because end angle can only take one input. You can see here's the previous connection going directly from rotate Z to end angle. When I click and drag output to end angle, that previous connection is lost, right? So now rotate Z is coming in, it's getting multiplied, and it's getting fed into my end angle, right? Okay, now, right now, if I rotate this, it's still going opposite. Why would it still go opposite? Well, I'll tell you. What? You got to change the way. That's exactly right. Right now, my input is 50, but my second value is still 1. So it's multiplying 50 times 1, which is 50. I need this value to be -1. Hit enter. And now, when I rotate the head, it rotates perfectly. So I'm going to set my rotate Z back to 0. All right, so that's the essence, an introduction to the node editor, right? You have basically a box of attributes connected to a box that does something, connected to the resulting other box, right? Okay, you feed it in, you multiply it, the result gets put in there. So I have that working. That's the biggest part of this assignment. I only want this controller to rotate Z. So I'll go ahead and highlight all the rest of the attributes. Right click, lock and hide selected. So there's that. When I select this, all it can do is rotate. My main control, and this is very similar to the alien. My main control needs to be the parent of my rotate, my twist, right? So I'm going to select my twist, shift select my main control, make sure that you have frozen your transformations before you do this. Select twist, shift select main, hit P. It's parented. Wherever this goes, my twist control goes. My geo group needs to follow my main control, just like I did with the toothbrush, right? So I select my main control. This is going to be done through a constraint. Control click the geo group, constrain, parent, options. Make sure maintain offset is turned on. It should be by default. Click add. When I move my main control, my fish goes with it. When I rotate, the fish goes with it. My twist still works, but my twist deformer is left behind. So I want to take my twist deformer, and I'll go ahead and put that in my geo group. I'll just middle click and drag that on, something like that. And now it moves with the fish. Again, this is all the exact same as we did with the toothbrush.
What was that?
I selected the twist handle and I parented it under the geo group. Yeah, I didn't specifically state that way, but select the twist handle, either control click the geo group and hit P, or you can middle click and drag it onto the geo group, and that'll put it under there. And technically at this point, I need to twist. I can hide my twist handle because I don't want to see it. It's not a controller. It's a deformer. So I don't want to see it. I'm just going to hit Control H to hide. And the last thing I want to do, I can move my character. I can rotate my character. My twist still works, but I can't scale my character. And actually, now that I've done that, let me test something. Don't write this down. I just want to test something real quick. Just want to see if that causes any problems. No, it doesn't. Okay. So what I'm going to do, okay. I'm going to take the twist handle. I'm not going to put it in the geo group. I'm going to put it under the main control instead. So rather than put it in the geo group, I'm going to parent my twist handle to my main control, right? Okay. So I just wanted to confirm that it wasn't going to cause any issues, and it doesn't. So it still allows me to move it. It still allows me to rotate it. And it scales it except for the geo, right? Okay. So that'll be fine. I'm just gonna put the twist handle parented to the main control. Again, I simply selected the twist handle, control click the main control, and hit P. Or if you want to do it in here, shift select and hit P, either one. All right. And then I'm going to hide it, Control H to hide. The last thing I need to do is for my geometry to scale down with the controller. And again, this is the exact same thing we did with the toothbrush. I select the controller. I control click the geo group. This is why we're not applying this to the twist handle, because it was going to cause problems by scaling it. And I'm going to do a scale constraint. Constrain, scale. Again, I'm going to maintain offset just to make sure. Click add. And now I move it. I rotate it. I scale it. And it still works. I have my attributes locked down. The only attribute I have to lock down is the head twist control, right? So all I want on there is rotate Z. My main control, I can have everything, right? I can even have visibility. If I want to turn that on and off, I can do that, right? So I don't need to change anything on my main control. All I have to do is give only rotate Z on my twist handle or control. And all I have to do is finalize my hierarchy. So I select my main control, group it to create my controls group. Controls _ GRP. I have my geo group and my controls group. Highlight both of those and group it to create my character group. So I can either call it character group or I can call it fish group, something like that, right? Is it ready for my animator? Huh? No, why?
You have to delete your history and then your freeze.
You have to make another layer.
I can barely hear anybody. I heard delete history.
Delete
I've
the
already
history, freeze the.
I've already deleted history and frozen transformations on the controls, so I've already done that. There is no history on the geometry because that was taken care of by the modeler. So we're getting close. I heard somebody say something about I have to make a layer for my geometry, because right now the animator can select all the geometry, right? So I'm going to select all my geometry. I'm doing this in the outliner, or you can like do this individually if you want to do that, you know, within the thing, right? I'm not selecting any of the controls. The controls aren't geometry, right? So I'm selecting my geometry, creating a layer, call it my geo layer, and click save, and then double click the blank box to turn it into an R. And that's it. Now I'm good. I'm going to save as. This is version 2. And save as, all caps, final. So what I should see in the outliner, other than the default stuff, right? My reference node, my default objects, my cameras, all I should see for the character is fish group. When I open up fish group, I should see controls group and geo group. When I open up controls, I should see main. Under that, I see twist and the twist handle. In my geo group, I have all my geometry and my 2 constraints. Fish group. Controls. Oops, I did that the wrong way. Controls group. Main control. Twist control. Twist on handle. Boom, 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 boom. Geo group. Body. Right eye. I'm shorthanding this. This is technically right eye 1, which is the left eye because I didn't rename it. Right iris. Right iris 1. Geo group parent constraint 1. Geo group scale constraint. That's my hierarchy of my character. Yes. Oh, not ISIS, Iris. Thanks. Okay. So that's that. Now the assignment sheet. Let me. I don't have it printed. Let me print it real quick. It's up on the thingamajig. I'll go over it and then I'll print it for those that are in the classroom. This is due on Monday. Plenty of time to get this fish done. Rig the fish model with a twisted formula that is being controlled with a controller and a multiply and divide node. Set up a controller that will change the subdivision levels of a character using a controller and the enum attribute. Enum. Oh, subdivisions. All right, I forgot about the level of detail part. I'll create a video for that in the next hour.
Which one do you want us to watch first?
This one first, and then the level of detail. Yeah, because you'll have to add that after this has been already created. So
After
this will be the level of detail will be a continuation of this video. So yeah. So level of detail, okay. So read the introduction of the book and the pages 53 to 65. Follow the lecture in the class. Create a project directory. Complete the assignment. Name your groups. Name the object in the scene. Create a hierarchy with a group that includes the eyes and the body of the fish. Apply a twist deformer on that group and create a controller for it. Use a multiply divide node to affect the twist deformer. This is basically step by step what I just did, right? You'll use the hypergraph. That should say node editor. To set this up, they used to call it the hypergraph. Now they call it the node editor. Take the character and smooth it. This is what I'll do on the next video. And create a controller and add an enum attribute to it. Create 4 objects in the enum and properly associate each enum with appropriate subdivision level on the smooth node. Again, I'll go over that in the next video. It literally takes like 10 minutes. Place the geo in its proper place in the hierarchy. Name your controls, project directory, scene files, your grade breakdown, 15 possible points. Setup works properly, can be animated for 3. Scene files are named properly for 2. Groups and controls are named. All the objects in the scene are named for 2. Twist is being affected by a multiply divide node for 3. Level of detail works using the controller attribute for 3 and critique for 2. So let me go print that real quick. Those that are online, have a great day. I'll have these videos up shortly. Let me print that real quick and I'll get that to you.
You gonna be here?
5, 6, 7, 8. Huh?
Are you gonna be here tomorrow?
All day, 8 to 5. I'll be here. I have no classes and nothing scheduled.
Okay.
So yes, I'll be either in a classroom or in my office. Be right back. What's up, CJ?
So in the connection,
Uh-huh.
how, which, input, where do I put the input Z to
Where do you what?
am I supposed to connect the input Z, input one Z, to like get into the? You have the Z to understand. I hear, for my twist one.
Yep.
And my most like about it, I'm in the connection node area. And I need to connect the input one Z.
Uh-huh.
Twist one.